Well, guys, I'm here with your SmackDown review, and I gotta say, most shows when they, have a bad episode of something, they'd probably want to turn it around the next episode, but they don't do that. We've got SmackDown right after a piss poor Legends show. I knew that Legends Night was gonna suck, but of course, it has to meet expectations. They can't surprise me. And they did surprise me with TLC. I actually did enjoy watching that show to a certain extent. But Legends Night basically delivered just about as much as I expected it to, and that was not at all. So we're going to turn to SmackDown. And SmackDown was the rise of Adam Pearce. So, let's just go through this show. I don't know what they're thinking here by doing this. I'm all for the authority figure facing off against the wrestler. Hell, it was the best storyline ever, right? Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon. Now, Roman Reigns. I have been tooting this guy's horn for years. But I am just going to say this right here, right now. I like the Tribal Chief character. I really do. I like what it has to offer. I think there's a lot of potential. And I think it started off real strong. There's just one problem. They don't know what the fuck to do with this damn character. First he's, we've got like family versus family. It's interesting. There's drama. There was good matches. They had back-to-back great matches, Clash of Champions, Hell in a Cell. I went back and watched those matches. We can look back on those matches years later and say those were quality matches. Those were storytelling matches. Those were matches that mattered. But now, I look back on those in retrospect and I'm like, well, how did they follow them up? Quite poorly. Kevin Owens matches. Kevin Owens, a guy that no one has taken seriously for years, except the smarkiest of smarks. Kevin Owens was in no position to be a world title contender. They tried that feud 4 years ago, and it failed. No one was interested in it then. No one's interested in it now. Now, they did get very high ratings in the first hour of the cage match 2 weeks ago. But they lost all those viewers 2 weeks later. So what did it really do? I'm telling you, they took one look at those people in the cage. They looked at Roman and they're like, oh, all right, this guy looks good. Then they took a look at the other guy across the ring from him and they saw a fat fucking slob. And they never tuned in again. So that should not come as a surprise to anyone. So we start off the show and Roman Reigns demands that Adam Pearce come out. He's put together an Iron Man match. He's unhappy about this. He asks Pearce, is he going to enter into the gauntlet match? And he says, no, that would be a conflict of interest. And there's a lot of staring and anger. But what are we getting out of this? First of all, Adam Pearce is not a very strong presence at all. Now, I'm not saying that this guy doesn't have the capability to be a good authority figure. He's been in this business for years. People have pointed out he's a 5-time NWA champion. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't really mean that much because no one has really cared about the NWA since Impact Wrestling was a part of it, when it was NWA TNA. Since that point, nobody has cared about it. Now, Cody Rhodes had won the NWA title, but it didn't mean that much either. So, people are trying to make excuses for this and everything. But Adam Pearce has not been an effective personality on TV to warrant him being in a storyline with Roman Reigns. He's not a good foil to Roman Reigns as McMahon was to Stone Cold. They're not good adversaries. There's not even anything adversarial about them. He's just making matches that's making Roman Reigns unhappy. First of all, Adam Pearce barely even says anything. He says something in a very light tone, and thanks to the horrendous audio that is in the Thunderdome, they call it the Thunderdome, and Thunderdome is like, I mean, Thunder's supposed to make that sound, right? So how come the Thunderdome is so damn low? Like, you see how I'm talking now? Why can't the audio be like this? Why do I have better audio on a Blue Yeti microphone than WWE does in this multi-million-dollar company? Okay, either speak up or turn up the volume. I am sick and tired of sitting here at my computer going, huh? I feel like Hulk Hogan. Huh? Like, what are they trying to... I can't hear. Why in 2021, this company that has an empty arena, how are they not... That has, like, acoustics, so in theory, things should be louder? But they pipe in the crowd noise, and somehow they don't know how to level this off. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, all I know is that since Adam Pearce has been in charge, whatever his position is, he doesn't even have an official position. Is he a GM? No. Is he a commissioner? No. What is he? I don't know. He's in charge of the talent. That's supposedly what Roman Reigns said. He's in charge of the talent. Okay, like, so what does that mean? Is that what he's called? He's an in-charger of the talent? Like, what's the guy's position? I don't know. Like, that's what the writers are saying, because I don't know. What is he? We don't even know. So what kind of authority is he? He just, like, basically showed up one week. He's an agent one week. The next week, he's in charge. I don't get it. They couldn't put Eric Bischoff out there. They had him. He was proven to be an effective GM back in the day. He was tremendous in that role. They could get Teddy Long back. Now, obviously, we wouldn't want to put Teddy Long in a match with Roman Reigns, but you get the picture. Why are they choosing to put Adam Pearce in a match with Roman Reigns, in a feud with Roman Reigns? But we'll get to that later on. So, and like I said, he's only said maybe like 10 lines of dialogue since being the authority figure, or the, somewhat, pseudo GM. We'll call him a pseudo GM, I suppose. Okay, so let's move on. Big E defeated Apollo Crews. I don't know what was going on here. I mean, this was actually a pretty decent match. I liked the back and forth and everything. But what was up with the fake out finish, the double pin? You just gave Big E the Intercontinental title, and you're already giving us the visual of him getting pinned. It's a double pin, so it's a draw. So Big E did get pinned technically by Apollo Crews. So it's a draw. And then they restart the match and Big E beats him. I don't really see the point of that. Apollo Crews has zero charisma. I didn't even realize that Big E is the same size as Apollo Crews height-wise. It was a decent match overall, but, like, I don't understand. Like, this is the first thing they could think to do, is put Big E in a feud with Apollo Crews. A guy with that much charisma. I don't know. Like, the ship has sailed on Apollo Crews. It's time to move on already. No one cares about that guy. Then backstage, Sonya Deville shows up again. And, she showed up. I don't get it. Who rehired her? All of a sudden, she gets a job there. She's dressed in the suit. Somehow, some way, she has a job. Like, I don't get it. You lost the match. You lost your job. They're not even going to bother. They're too lazy to even write an explanation of why she got her job back. How can you be that lazy? You can't come up with a reason? No, she just showed up one day, and that's the thing. She's fired and she got a promotion. When's the last time that happened? You know that? When's the last time that anyone's ever gotten fired and they come back and they've got an even better job than they did when they were fired? Now, it's been a long time since I've actually raised my voice in a video, but this show is just fucking stupid already. This show just goes beyond all reason. And why? Why Sonya Deville, of all the people you could have, why are they picking the absolute worst authority figures? Like, I really, really feel like sometimes they really want to have the absolute worst show possible. Why, like, why is it that, like, movie directors and producers, they want to have the absolute best actors in their movie, the most popular actors in their movie, but WWE, like with this, they have everyone miscast in their roles. Why is Adam Pearce leading the show? This guy has virtually no charisma. He was a popular indie worker. I get it. But, and Sonya Deville, now we're going to put her in an authority figure role? She already, first of all, let me explain something. If you failed as a wrestler, you're not going to be a very popular GM. I'm just going to tell you that right now. See, like, the reason why Kurt Angle was an effective GM and Stone Cold was an effective GM, because they were effective talents. They cut good promos. They did good things that were memorable. Why did people like Mick Foley as the commissioner? Because he already got over with the crowd by doing all the other stuff. You put them in an authority figure role, out of nowhere, and no one's going to give a shit about them. So why are we even wasting time? Why are we wasting time with this? We already know it's going to fail from the offset, so why even try it? I'll give it a chance, but I've given everything a chance with this company. Then backstage, we've got Carmella. I've stopped caring. Every week it's with the champagne. The Dirty Dogs, which they're not even calling them that, but it's Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, and they defeated the Street Profits for the tag titles. I don't understand why these guys are a tag team. Does anyone care? These two have been proven singles wrestlers. There's no reason for them to be in a tag team. But somehow, some way, they're back to square one. Dolph Ziggler's career is almost meaningless at this point. It's been the biggest roller coaster, and not roller coaster like, exciting. It's been roller coaster, like there's been so many ups and downs with it. He's Intercontinental Champion. He's World Champion. He's back to being nothing. He's the Intercontinental Champion again. Now he's a tag wrestler. He's been in this company since 2006. Since he was Nikki on the Spirit Squad. Over 14 years in this company. And you are telling me that this is the best that they've got for him? Holy fucking shit. I mean, this guy's career is sad. It's depressing. And he's tried really hard. He's tried the best he can do, and he was successful at doing it. But I don't know. WWE just does not want to work with this guy. Does not want to give him the time of the day. He's cut these impassioned promos. They didn't do anything to follow up on all these promos. They've buried him continuously. They gave him the world title. They took it away from him because they put him in positions where he would get injured. And he ended up getting injured. And they took the title off of him, which was hilarious in a bad way. So here they are again. I mean, like, where is the progress in this company? Every year, it's the same thing. We built no new stars, so we have to rely on the old stars. And I'm not complaining about Goldberg at the Royal Rumble. Because the thing is, as far as I'm concerned, there's no one worthy of facing Drew McIntyre. Just as there's no one worthy of facing Roman Reigns, because you've built everyone like shit. So of course they have to call in somebody to be a draw, because no one has been put in the position to be a draw. And I don't get it, because we all stand around scratching our heads. Well, gee, how were stars not built? You know, because you didn't put them in a position to look like stars? You can't have stars when someone is getting jobbed out and looking like an idiot one week, then winning, then losing, then winning, then losing, then winning, then losing, then winning, then losing! Like, seriously, this is the definition of insanity in this company. I've been watching it for so many years, and this is why I have to take so many breaks from it, because it is just downright annoying to watch. Because these are talented people. There are some talented people on this roster that try so hard, like Elias, and I don't know, they did something wrong. They gave someone a dirty look, and their career is ruined. And the thing is, it all plays out on the show. What is going on backstage with these people? I mean, they have done so much to undermine their talent. And I don't want to hear anything about AEW. Get that garbage out of here, because that show sucks. It certainly does. You know, it's no good when you have a guy that's just a complete geekazoid running it. I'd rather have a guy like Vince that actually has an ounce of testosterone in his body than Tony Khan, my God, who rewrote his whole show because Dave Meltzer told him to. Oh my goodness. I don't want to hear anyone ever again say anything about AEW being better than the WWE. Because they're 10 times worse. As bad as this sucks, that show is 10 times worse. Every single time. Every single time. I've never seen a good episode of Dynamite, ever. I've seen a few good matches, but I've never seen good shows from them. So we have Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce backstage, and apparently Paul Heyman has pulled a few strings. I don't know how you could pull a few strings when you have no authority. And Adam Pearce is the authority, but somehow he pulled a few strings and got Adam Pearce booked in a match. How does someone with no authority go over the head of Adam Pearce, who's the authority figure? Huh? Any idea? This show should I mean, I don't know. I've said this for years and years. This show is not rocket science. It shouldn't be rocket science, but somehow, some way, they managed to complicate this to the point where I don't know. There should be captions on the screen to explain what is happening, because there's no explanation for it. Paul Heyman, oh yeah, and Pearce doesn't even question. He's like, oh man. Like, you know, the logical question here in the script should be, well, hey, Pearce, maybe you should ask Heyman, well, who gave you the authority to do this? Like, I mean, really? Like, you're the authority figure, and you were just bossed around by Paul Heyman, who has no authority on the show. And the viewer's supposed to just stand there and go, it's time for the gauntlet match. Rey Mysterio defeats Sami Zayn in like 10 seconds. I like Zayn's promo before the match. I like how he's like a ranting, raving lunatic. Naka Murphy defeats Rey Mysterio. And, Rey Mysterio's been gone for several weeks, and he comes back and he loses to a guy that has been continuously jobbed out in tag matches. Go figure. That's a nice way to bring back Ray. After you tried to make us forget about him for weeks by not having him on TV. Because I don't think he was injured or anything like that. It's very nice that Michael Cole also doesn't know how to pronounce the Shinyaska, whatever the hell that finishing move is. He's been on the main roster for like 3 years, and longer than that actually, right? Like almost 3.5 years now, and I still don't know how to pronounce the name of that finisher either. Baron Corbin is out next. King Corbin. For some reason, he doesn't have his wolves. What are they called? The Knives of the Lone Wolf. So I don't know where those guys are. They're not there. Maybe they gave up on them. Don't know. But Nakamurphy ends up beating him. I don't get it. Like, seriously. Like, Nakamurphy came out of nowhere, and he's starting to beat all these guys in the mid-card when he's been jobbed out in the tag team with Cesaro for months. Then he goes on to defeat Daniel Bryan, who has been said to have been being kind of planned to be put in a feud with Roman Reigns. He was supposed to be the next in line for Roman Reigns. And, I wasn't, being a fan of Daniel Bryan, I'm not even so sure that was the right person for Roman Reigns to go up against next with his character. I don't know, really who should be next against Roman Reigns. It's not my job to know who Roman Reigns should wrestle next. But I don't really think that was probably the best decision anyway. Well, it's obviously not going to be Daniel Bryan now. And what the fuck? Like, seriously. We're going with Nakamurphy when this guy, you gave him the Royal Rumble back in 2018. And now all of a sudden, we're supposed to start caring about this guy out of the clear blue sky again? Like, what are you, joking? Is this like a joke? Are you kidding me? All of a sudden, we're supposed to jump on the Nakamurphy bandwagon all of a sudden? Like, out of nowhere, we're supposed to care about him after we were pretty much told not to? By the way that he was being booked on the show? As just like another face in the crowd. But here he is, just going through everybody. And how do you like this? Daniel Bryan hits like 2 drop kicks in a row, goes in for the third, and the Shinyaska out of nowhere. Completely no-selling 2 drop kicks to the face. This guy's a great worker! Ah! Anyway, Adam Pearce comes out, but then Roman Reigns and Jey Uso come out. They beat both of them up, and then Jey Uso drapes Pearce on top of Nakamurphy, and there you go. There was no point in having Nakamurphy beat all those guys because Adam Pearce just beat him in the end. And there you go, guys. There's your main event there for the Smackdown title. Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns. This is the best you could do, huh? The tribal chief, right? This is the best you could do. Kevin Owens. And now Adam Pearce. Yeah. Good stuff. Great stuff. Adam Pearce. If this guy was like a charismatic authority figure, that was going like head to head with Reigns, and they were butting heads, and there was a lot of crazy tension. Let me explain something here about like the opening segment and everything, as it all comes full circle. Roman Reigns is creating tension when there's no pushback from Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce is a wimp. He's a pussy. He's doing nothing to even provoke Roman Reigns. All it's supposed to be is there's a few decisions that he has made that don't even seem that terrible that Roman Reigns is annoyed about. So he wants to have a match with Adam Pearce. But the thing is, Adam Pearce has not been put in the position where this can be a draw as a match that people actually want to watch. Because why would you want to watch Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns? There's no interesting story there. It's not even like this guy is an acclaimed wrestler. He's a veteran, but does anyone know him? Do the majority of people watching the show even know truly who Adam Pearce is? Like, did anyone ever really sit down and watch a bunch of Adam Pearce matches? I know Adam Pearce. I watched him in like UPW, which Cena was a part of. He was in the NWA. But seriously, are there any big, huge Adam Pearce fans? Like, I'll tell you something. If Kevin Owens is not a draw, then Adam Pearce sure as hell ain't going to be a draw either. No one even knows who the schmuck is. And this is the main event you picked. Like, guys, I have no idea what to even say about this. This was horrendous in every way, shape, or form. You have Nakamura come in there and just bury everybody. You know, like, okay, I get it. Like, we haven't really done anything to protect Ray, Corbin, or Bryan. But that's besides the point. Nakamura came out of nowhere, who's a nobody now. And all of a sudden we're asked to care about him. We're supposed to be pulling for him. Never mind that he's a heel, by the way. And they even have piped in boos. So why is this guy going the distance anyway? It's not even like he's such a dastardly heel that when a face like Adam Pearce pins him, like, I don't understand it. Who is fascinated by this prospect of a match? Now, they could do something interesting. They could surprise us like they have on a pay-per-view before, and it be something interesting. They could tell a decent story at the pay-per-view. And I hope they do it at Royal Rumble. But I don't think they will. I hope I'm wrong about that. Because this just is a recipe for disaster. I just hope that the main course is at least palatable. Alright, so there you go, guys. There's a review. I want to stop talking about this now. I'd rather talk about something more interesting. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. And thanks again, guys. That was tormenting. I'll see you next time.